Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. This is Jeff with Fluent American checking in with another episode of the Schwab Mill, where we try to craft your accent focusing on American English pronunciation. We will be listening to your pronunciation files and giving some suggestions related to vowel sounds, consonant sounds, pitch, placements, linking, intonation, whatever seems to be the issue with the sentences that you're saying. Again, I am your host. My name is Jeff. As you come in, if this is the first time you've seen our live stream, please let us know. Say, hey, I'm new here. Whether you're watching in the replay or watching live, it'd be great to hear from you. Additionally, if you're interested in sending your own pronunciation files, you're going to see at the top of the chat box a link to go to. If you also go to the video description, you will see the same link available there in case you're missing it in the chat box. Let me show you really quick what that's going to look like when you're trying to submit your files. Okay. Also, let me know. I was testing out my microphone. It seemed a little hot sometimes. So if you guys are trouble hearing me or anything like that, be sure to let me know. Make sure your microphones go in. Okay, I adjusted it, but I just want to make sure it's a pleasant experience for everybody. Okay. But yeah, let me show you what the document's going to look like so that way you guys have an idea of what we are talking about. And I'll put myself in a corner. Too much in the corner, right? By the way, hello to Z. Zameta's checking in again. Remaze is checking in again. Great to see you guys. Emmanuel's checking in again. And a nice warm welcome to Jimmy. Jimmy, thanks so much for stopping by. How'd you find the live stream? Let us all know. Okay, guys, be nice to Jimmy. Don't scare him away. It's great to have you here, Jimmy. If you're feeling comfortable enough, it'll be great to hear your audio, your pronunciation files, which you, again, just kind of go over the process for that. So this is the document. It's a Google Doc. This is the same document we use every single week. Okay. And again, it's what you see right up at the top. Okay. It's the same one we use all the time. And what you're going to see here, if it lets me zoom in, there you go. Okay. So you're going to see there's some directions up here. It's going to take you to a site called Vocaroo.com. When you're at Vocaroo, this is kind of what you'll see. If it's the first time you're there, you'll see like a recording button, and basically you press record, you save your file, and what this does is it gives you this link down here, and you can just attach that link and put it right in the document, and that way we'll be able to hear you and what you're saying. Okay, because what we'll do is we'll share my audio as well, so that way we all hear everybody. And then we can start giving some pronunciation advice and things like that. Now, maybe you're lurking in the background and you're not quite comfortable yet sending some audio files. In fact, I was talking with one of my students today who watches the live stream occasionally on Saturdays. And he was about to send an audio file, but then he was like, oh my gosh, the people on the channel, they sound so good. So he got embarrassed. He's like, no, I'm ashamed. I don't want people to hear me. But hear me out. If you're listening to this and you're listening to people on here and you think that everyone's more advanced than you, first of all, that's not true. There are, usually when these live streams finish, they've been seen, 200 times. So there are people here. Not everyone is necessarily an advanced level learner or someone that studied pronunciation a long time. When we're sending files, we're here to help you individually, but we're also here to help everybody else too. So the pronunciation issues that you have are the same pronunciation issues that many, many, many other people may be dealing with as well. So by sending us audio files, you aren't just helping yourself, you're helping all the other people who are viewing this. And it's valuable information. I think it's super helpful to hear what other people are doing and trying to understand what's working versus what's sounding less natural. I can see other people creeping around on the document, which is great. So I really do hope that if you're just someone that you feel like your pronunciation is too low for this, or you're not good enough or anything like that, that's not what this is about. This is not a competition. We are not here to compete with each other. We're here to improve. We're all trying to learn together. I learned things about pronunciation. I'm always doing experiments with like different languages and things like that. Languages I've never studied, but trying to understand the placement of. So we're all learning together. I really hope that if you're watching this and you're not comfortable right now, that's I hope that in the future we're able to change your mind and get to hear you sometime. You know, like everyone's here. We are here to learn, not to be shy, here for feedback and to have a good time, you know? Not here to compete. It's not a competition. Hello, also to Mimo checking in. That's great. Hello to Prop Chat checking back as well. Great to see so many returners. And again, if you've been here before but you've never said hi before, can you just say hi to me at some point? It'd be great to hear from you. But yeah, so you send in your pronunciation files. You can see I already have, I think I have our current crop, and I think we have time to get through everybody, which is exciting as always. That's always our goal. We'll be going till about 3 p.m. here, so it's about an hour and a half from now. So I think we'll have time to get through everybody. And of course, as we're going through these two, if you have questions related to pronunciation, any sort of thing, or English, or life, or just the world. I know the world's a crazy place right now. We can certainly talk about that a little bit as well. All those things and more are certainly welcome in the chat. All right. I think that ends my spiel. If anyone has some major updates and things, be sure to let us know. But let's kind of just walk through what is about to happen. Oh, let me add myself there, right? Again, it's not little, it's more little.
The G host was class.
Are you feeling that here, or here? All right, you will see that I have now added my headphones. That way I will be able to hear you guys, hear what you're doing, and I will also share my audio too, so you'll be able to know what's going on as well. Give me 1 second. And here we go. Okay, kicked off to the side. Great. So again, these are all the files we'll be starting with. We'll kind of just go around in like random order. We'll try not to do the same person 2 times in a row. But let's kind of start off here.
It is a poor workman who blames his tools.
Okay.
It is a poor workman who blames his tools.
Poor workman who blames his tools. Cool. All right, so it's poor workman who blames his tools. So what can we say about this? Let me blow that up as well. Okay. I wish I had a pen.
It is a poor workman who blames his tools.
Okay, I want to actually jump to the end of this sentence really quick.
It is a poor workman who blames his tools.
Tools. So notice what's happening with tools. Is that, sorry, I'm randomly reaching around for a pen. Okay, so one thing I want to talk about really quick is this tools pronunciation. Trying to find my mic and my buttons and things like that. Okay, so tools. This is a helpful word because it has 2 parts, right? It has that oo sound, oo, and it also has that L at the end. So what we're going to do when we see an L at the end of a word, we're typically going to use a dark L type sound. So the sound you want is not where my tip of my tongue is high. The sound you really want is actually a dark L where the tip of your tongue goes down, and instead you raise the back of your tongue. So instead of you want to get more of an sound. The other thing we want to be aware of, so this sound is considered a long vowel. And we talked about this before, but when you have a long vowel sound in American English, your long vowels are like A, E, I, O, oo, these are oi, these are your long vowel sounds. And when these link with the letter L, what's going to happen is you're going to do your vowel, and then you're going to break and do an sound. So for instance, tool. Okay, do you hear that So you want to make sure it's breaking off. Some other examples of that. So again, like tile, tail, teal, toil, tool. Okay, so there's just some examples of where you would get that dark L sound. Okay, where it splits. So you want to do that anytime you have a long vowel plus an L. Just a minor note there. Other things here from our audio. Okay. And yes, just like Emmanuel has noted here. Great. Thank you for posting that.
It is a poor workman who blames his tools. It is a poor.
It is. Okay, so like in Emmanuel again doing with the tool. Yes, exactly. You want to break it up like that. Tool. Tool. Another thing you want to watch out for too is that oo sound. It's not tu, it's tu. Notice that for that oo sound, I don't need to have very round lips. Okay, so again, you can watch my lips here. Ooh, ooh, right? So again, it's not ooh, ooh, ooh. I don't need to have super round lips. I don't need things to be super tight. It's just ooh, 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 tu, tu, tool. Okay, and again, lots of breaths coming through. Great, great, great. I see some other questions in the chat. Don't worry, I will be answering those momentarily, but I just want to focus on our sentence here for a moment. I want to go back to the it is.
It is a.
It is. It is. You know, I totally get it in the sentence. So you're working off the idiom, the expression. But the reality is that, hey, most often you don't really hear it is in natural speech. You're much more likely to hear a contraction. It's like it's a poor workman. If contractions are not something you're currently using in your speech, it's one of those immediate things you can start adding, start working on, and it has a pretty big impact on how you sound. So I really would encourage you to start looking at contractions because they are so frequent.
It is a poor workman who.
It is a poor workman versus it's a poor workman. It's a poor workman. Mm-hmm. Even like workman too.
It is a poor workman who.
Workman, workman. A lot of times when you have man at the end of a word, it gets reduced. So like workman, more like workman. It's a poor workman. Honestly, you're not going to hear the word workman very often either. I'd probably just say worker, personally.
It is a poor workman who.
I liked poor. Marcos, I know sometimes with the R sound, that's something that we pay a lot of attention to, but I like how you're saying poor. You know, I'm not hearing poor, you know, for the super tight R sound. I really like how you're doing it here.
It is a poor workman who blames his tools.
Blames.
And who blames his.
Blames. Do you hear that? Blames versus blames. Hear a difference between blames and blames. So we want to try to get that A sound a little lower, more air. Hold the vowel longer because right now your BL and your M, those are kind of your dominant sounds. So you're getting like blames versus blames. Can you do like A, aims, blames, A, aims, blames, that sort of progression just to get that A sound a little stronger. I think that'll be very beneficial.
Tools.
And tools we talked about. Another little thing about tools too is because it's ending on that very vocalized sound, that S will also be slightly voiced. So instead of tools, it's usually going to be a little more tools, just a very slight voiced sound. It's a poor workman who blames his tools.
It is a poor workman who blames his tools.
Yes, those are going to be my major comments there. Pay attention to some of those vowel sounds. I know Zebeda asked, no, I'm not answering these in order, but can you say the meaning of these idioms? Yeah, so let's talk about this idiom too. And you guys can let me know, what do you think this means? Okay. What is the possible meaning of this expression? If you had to kind of summarize it to someone, give you guys a second in the chat box to try to respond. What do we think this means? While we're doing that, some other questions. So please, people in your city, state, pronounce. So I'm originally from Philadelphia on the East Coast of the United States. If you're not sure where Philadelphia is, you go to imagine New York or try to find New York on a map and then go like south for about 2 hours. By car, it's about an hour by train, an hour and a half by train. That's where I'm from originally. Okay, so definitely some East Coast influences on my speech. We would say cot, so sound, cot, versus that second word would be more caught. So again, caught, 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 caught. So not exactly the same vowel sound. Okay, so those would be different. Also, in terms of state, the state would be Pennsylvania. So we're talking about that. We talked about the combination for tool, that ool, which is great. We have some maybe British questions. Those Brits, that crazy British English. Clean English, anyone's question. Do you ever do busy work or? I'll be honest, I have not. I've heard of busy work. Like I have heard do busy work, but the R is throwing me off. So I'm not entirely sure about this expression, I'll be honest. We have some other question. Can you reduce it is just a it's I think in the right context, you can. It's a little tricky to do that at the very start of a sentence because usually you need something before it. Okay, so if it's your first word, you probably still need a little bit of the short I. But if it's like the middle of a sentence, I think you'd be okay. Okay. Going back to our original question. So again, our idiom is a poor workman who blames his tools. What could our possible definition is? Emmanuel is saying someone not that talented molding about to challenge it. We have to incorporate molding at least once every live stream. It's a rule of our stream. And talented worker or whatever, blame it on tools. Yeah, I think you guys got it okay. I think you guys got it right. Yeah, so it's oh, where did I put it? It's a poor workman who blames his tools. It's like, if you're good at your job, or if you're knowledgeable about your field and you make a mistake, you don't blame it on your tools. You blame it on your, take responsibility for your actions. And also, I think that kind of gets more at it. It's about responsibility. If you're blaming or always looking for excuses, that's not great. So like if you make a mistake, own up to your mistakes. No one takes you seriously if you blame other factors. Yeah. It's a good word. I'm yet to use it in conversation. I feel like if I used it in conversation, people would be looking at me. I need to play more games. I think this is the key. Truth. That's great. Let's play Marcos's again one more time, just see if there's anything that we missed. I don't think we did, but you never know.
It is a poor workman who blames his tools.
Yeah, it's a poor workman who blames his tools. All right, Marcos, thank you so much for sending the audio. As always, we appreciate it. I'm gonna jump over here a bit.
I got a geek out of Jeff. He's really hilarious.
Ooh, this is a interesting one.
I got a geek out of Jeff. He's really hilarious.
Okay. I'll be honest, that first part, if I didn't look at the text, that first part would have been a little challenging for me. What's this one? This is our sentence. See if you can hear that.
I got a geek out of Jeff. He's really hilarious.
You get it, Kika. Okay, so why is that first part? Why did that take me a moment to really get it?
I got a geek out of Jeff.
I get keek. Okay, so first thing for kick. So kick's going to have a short I sound. Okay, so I say keek, keek.
I got a geek out.
You get keek versus kick. Okay, so first thing is that your placement's a little bit high. Okay, so that could be causing the more of the E sound as opposed to the I sound. Could also be that the middle of your tongue's not high enough. Or too high even. Could also be that your lips are too tense, like keek, keek versus kick, kick. So watch yourself in the mirror and see what your lips are doing. So make sure, again, your lips don't have to go super tense. They can keep them a little straighter. I get a kick.
I got a geek out of.
I get a. I think the other thing too is the pitch pattern is a little bit off.
I got a geek.
I get a. So I do like you're going down in pitch on the which is great, but I think on the I get you tend to be rising a bit, and so that's causing them to kind of sound a little bit stressed. I get a kick. I get a kick. So what I would do is I would lower your pitch on I. Okay. Don't go as high in your pitch on get. Okay, you can go a little high, but don't go too high. Otherwise, it's going to really sound like your heavy stressed word. So we're trying to add some contrast. You do like, I get a kick. I get a kick. I get a kick out of you. I get a kick out of you. I get a kick. I get a kick. I get a kick. I get a kick. It's like something like that pattern. I think would be a little bit more helpful.
I got a geek out of Jeff.
Also on the out of.
I got a geek out of Jeff.
Out of. I think again a lot of this is placement. Your placement sounds a little bit high. It's like out of. So it feels like we're kind of like top of throat, back of mouth. Out of versus out of. I get a kick out of I get a kick out of. So trying to lower that placement a little bit on the out of.
I get a kick out of Jeff.
Out of versus out of. Okay.
I get a kick out of Jeff.
Also Jeff. I get Jeff. Again, your placement's so high. It's like Jeff versus Jeff. Jeff. I get a kick out of Jeff. I get a kick out of Jeff.
Out of Jeff. He's really hilarious.
Okay. The other thing too, really, in my opinion, let me guys, I want you guys to think about just like common words in English that are surprisingly difficult to say. Or maybe not surprisingly, but that you find difficult to say. Because I'll be honest, I think really, for me, I have a list of a couple words that I think are really difficult to say in English. I'll tell you my words. Let me know other words that you guys find difficult to say in English that seem like they would be simpler. So, for instance, this one here, really, I think is a very difficult word. Deceptively difficult word. Another word, I think this could be like my top 10 list of words that's tricky to say, which might be surprising, is the word loan. I think loan is a really hard word to say. We'll talk about that in a moment. Another common one is like girl and world. Those tend to be hard ones for people to say. But going back to really, I think that really is a difficult word because anytime you have these combinations with a short I followed by a long I, and good evening to Ali. Great to see you back. Welcome back to the stream. Send us some audio if you're open to it today. I think really is a tricky word to say because you have the short I and the long I. And we see this, for instance, a word like city, and things like that. That tends to be a hard word to say. So what tends to happen for students is when they're saying those things, they how do I put it? They overextend the E sound. So they start doing like E for everything. It's like E. When in reality, what you want to do is you want to have a short I than that E sound. So instead of doing E, you really want to have more E. Okay, it's like city. Okay. Or like really. So like really. I would really try to bounce back and forth between those. And again, if you find really to be a difficult word to say, start off just doing the vowels. It's like and then what you can do is you can add the consonants. It's like really. So bounce between that 2 or 3 times. Really. Okay, and making sure that again that short I sound stays consistent. Okay, that's going to be really key to getting that to sound natural, honestly. And again, just for comparison to hear how it's saying here.
I got a kick out of Jeff. He's really helpful.
Do that really. The other thing too that's going to be helpful with really. I'm so big for this too. Okay. So the other thing you want to watch out for with the word really is the dark L sound. Because you can hear really, where you're making contact with the tip of your tongue and the top of your mouth. And that's giving you a less natural sound. So instead, what I would recommend is a dark L. Can you say really with the tip of your tongue against the bottom of your mouth the entire time? Really. So say really, or really. Say it like 3 times. Really. Okay, and that's okay if it sounds really muffled and doesn't sound clear. The goal right now is trying to get those vowel sounds to be dominant and try to achieve more of a dark L sound. Okay, so trying to say that a couple of times because otherwise, again, you're going to be stuck with something that sounds
really
like that. Really versus really. Okay.
Hilarious.
And hilarious. Yeah, I like hilarious better. Okay. Yeah, so those are going to be my big suggestions here. Play that again.
I got a kick out of Jeff. He's really hilarious.
Perfect. I get a kick out of Jeff. He's really hilarious. That's how I would have said that one. Okay. But thank you so much for sending out audio. I do appreciate it. Can't do this without you guys. Okay. And by the way, if you're just joining us and you're new here, be sure to say, hey, I'm new. Or if you've been here 1,000 times, be like, hey, I'm not new. Like what you're hearing? Let us know by liking and subscribing. I just want to get into this hair conversation really quick. And then roommates, I saw the exclamation mark. Talk about that in a moment. Okay. And hair. Yes. Talking about some balding conversations. Anyone here balding? And open to sharing. Okay. I know my hair is definitely thinning. Natural. I've heard that rosemary oil is good at actually promoting hair growth. I don't know if that's true. I think it's one of those things you put it on your skin and you can feel it tingle, get that little sensation. Okay. And Rumeza giving out the medical advice. Look at that. Appreciate that, Rumeza, as always. Okay. Shok was asking about exclamation mark. Okay. Hyperbolizing. Oh, what a nice verb. Maybe say exaggerating, but I like that. I know that's something that my son is potentially dealing with. It looks like he has alopecia, which was made famous by Will Smith and Jada this year. So we're kind of trying to figure that out. And again, exclamation mark. If this is in terms of just pronunciation things, exclamation mark or exclamation point. I think in the US you're more likely to hear point. Just a note, exclamation point. Exclamation. Watch out for that X. A lot of times the letter X, if it's not stressed, it makes like a x type sound, like a KS. X, exclamation. Excla. Then you have that schwa sound, excla. And then the mation, the A sound. That's the most important part of this. Exclamation. And if you ever have a long word, so this is a great example. So you have a word here for like 4 or 5 syllables and things like that. If you have a longer word and you're having a hard time saying it, what I recommend is to remove all your consonants, keep the vowel sounds, and just try to pronounce the vowels. It's like exclamation. It's like a. It's like your short I sound at the end. Okay. Then you can add the rest. It's like exclamation. Exclamation. Because you want to make sure that your vowel sounds are the dominant sounds. What a lot of students are doing is they're getting the consonant sounds to be too strong. Okay, so it's kind of something to be paying attention to. Yeah. And then mark, make sure you're pronouncing that R sound. Right. Mark. It's not mock. No more mark or mark. Or point, again, like in the US. Okay. Nothing to feel about. I mean, these are all just things that happen in life, things we deal with. Great to see you. Thanks for joining us in the stream. If you haven't sent us some audio, certainly consider it. It'd be great to hear from you. But they ask a great question. What I really need to do, to sound like native speakers. Well, that's that's what we're trying to figure out every Saturday, right? And also in our videos. But I'll put it like this, what I tell students when I first start pronunciation classes with them. Okay. And by the way, if you're interested in pronunciation classes, find out more. You can go to our channel. You can go to our website, fluentamerican.com, and we have a lessons tab where you can schedule classes. Okay. So I definitely encourage you to check that out. You can also see it up on screen, fluentamerican.com. Okay. But I pretty much, from the first day of class I have with students, I basically tell them how all the other classes that we'll have together are going to look. I'm basically going to give you 2 pieces of advice every single class. I'm going to tell you that your placement's too high. You're probably projecting from up here instead of down here. So that's the first thing I'm going to tell you. And the second thing I'm going to tell you is that you're not getting enough air through your throat. You're blocking off air. So if your goal is just to start sounding more like native speakers in North America, those are your 2 steps. Lower your placement. Instead of talking up here, try to talk down here. And instead of closing your throat, try to open your throat to get more air coming through. These are the 2 biggest factors that will immediately have an impact on your speech. And that's pretty much the only feedback I give during classes. There may be slight things going on with like lip position or tongue position, but by and large, the biggest issues I see with students are they're too high and their throat's too closed. So they're not getting enough air through. Okay. Now it sounds simple, right? It's just like, okay, talk lower and open your throat. Sounds simple, but obviously it takes practice and training to get used to that. Okay. But those are the 2 biggest things. If you're also looking for some actionable items to do today to get started, besides placement and breath, you should be shadowing. If you are serious about trying to improve your pronunciation, you should be shadowing every day. 5 minutes. Okay, when I say shadow, I don't just mean listen and then repeat and then move on. No, if you're taking shadowing seriously, you are listening, you're repeating, and as you're repeating, you're recording yourself, and then you're playing back the recording and trying to see what you're doing. If you don't listen to yourself, if you never listen to your own recordings, your progress is going to be much, much slower because you don't know what you're doing. Okay, I don't know if you guys, let me know in the chat. Have you had this experience where you say something and you think you said it perfectly, but then you listen to the recording and you're like, oh my gosh, that's me. I didn't say that. No, I said it completely differently. Let me know if you've ever had that experience before, because that really is key. All right, but you guys again are here for some feedback and things. Let me share my screen once more. Let me know in the chat too. How many times did you record yourself this week? Don't be shy. Let me know. If it's 0, you can let me know that too. But let me know if it was just once this week. Let me know. I have one student. What they're doing is they're sending me a recording of themselves shadowing for 2 minutes every day. It's like for the last 2 weeks, they've sent me like 14 recordings. Okay. And that's something I would definitely recommend getting started with too. The word comrade is used for both. As a rash, you use the word sexist isn't wrong, but gender is probably the more common word. Yeah, that's probably going to be the most common situation. But I wouldn't say sexist is wrong. Great question. Ilya, great to hear from you. Would be great to see you in future streams as well. I would stop back again. Yes, you may ask more questions, Sabina. Can you give us useful tips for reducing nasality? So nasality means that, again, your placement's really high. So it means maybe you're like talking like around here or something like that when you really want to be talking like down here. So one exercise you can try doing is try and do like a scale. Like take a sound. Let's use the E sound. Most likely your language has an E sound. So like take your E sound and then take it down 5 steps. It's like E, 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 E. You can also go the other direction too, like E, 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 E. You can do that a couple times. E, 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 E. Nice warm-up exercise. You see singers doing kind of similar things to that. You can also remove the steps and make it continuous, like E. Just kind of doing that shifting to get used to that. Okay. So that's the first thing. A lot of times too with nasality, a lot of times your the throat's very closed off, so not getting a lot of air through. Okay, so just like breathing exercises. So for instance, just try sighing. Just try to get as much air out as possible. Just like again, just to practice what it feels like to get air moving through your throat, I think is really helpful. Okay, so doing that a couple times. As you get more comfortable with that too, you can also try vocalizing it, add a vowel. You can again use like the E. So like E. E. And again, especially the ending is going to be that key part. E. E. Another thing too is after you say it, just say a vowel sound, but make sure that when your vowel finishes, the breath keeps going. Don't let the breath die. So like don't say E, because then it just like chops off everything, right? It doesn't continue. Can you do like E, E, something like that? Okay. So this is just to see again if you can keep that breath continuing. Okay. Another thing that's super helpful, I see Emmanuel also just mentioned it too. He kind of beat me to it. Laughing is super helpful. Okay, so this is an exercise. If you're by yourself, do this with me, because I can't hear you. If you're with other people and feeling brave, like if you're riding the subway or something like that, go for it too. But I want you to take your hands. I want you to put them on your stomach. And I want you to laugh, like a real laugh, just like So what happens when you laugh? What did you notice with your stomach? You had your hands on your stomach. What did you notice happening? Okay. Most likely what you felt is you felt your stomach kind of like tensing and then relaxing, then tensing and relaxing again. Okay. Well, that movement is very similar to what you want, for instance, for a schwa sound and sound in English. So what you can do is you can go from a laugh to a schwa sound relatively easily with some training. So for instance, you could do like, excuse me, like so basically in a lot of ways, like a heavy laugh coming from your stomach, a belly laugh, we would say, is pretty much very similar to a schwa sound. So if you're able to kind of channel that just to kind of help lower things, get more air through, that's another way you can kind of try to reduce some of that nasality, try to get things a little lower, more open. Okay. Those are just some exercises to consider trying. Okay. I asked earlier about recordings. How many recordings did you guys make this week? Some quick answers here. I record myself, but not in English. Can I record myself, but not in English? Did you do it in Farsi? What were recordings for your students? Emmanuel's given the honest approach. I took the long. Oh no. Sometimes, well, it's very sad. It's very tragic. But I understand that sometimes we need those breaks and things like that. Sometimes it happens. You take a break and then you come back from a break and you're like, oh wow, this comes more naturally. It comes easily. Okay. So I'm not necessarily opposed to breaks if they're well timed. Movie writes, I've been spending learning English over a year, over 12 hours a day. Do you believe it? Check my recording. I work at a call center, by the way. Okay. Yeah, we will take a look at the recording soon. Try and get through everybody's. Okay, so yeah, laughter can be certainly very helpful for getting replacement lowered. The terms are neutral. The first part is not really clear. I don't have any context. I have no idea what they means. Okay. So I don't have enough context in this situation. I'd probably need the surrounding 2 or 3 sentences. That's actually a great question. I've actually wondered this. I've never seen it spelled out that way. I've only ever seen it with the abbreviation. I'll be honest. And Avi mentions that they stressed every word. Okay, that's something we'll be paying attention to. All right, one last reminder, then we'll take a look again at your files.
Like what you're hearing? Let us know by liking and subscribing.
Who next? This file's not super long. 2 seconds.
Once bitten, twice shy.
Once bitten, twice shy. Once bitten, twice shy. Once bitten, twice shy. So you're stressing bitten and shy?
Once bitten, twice shy.
Emmanuel, how do you make your N sound?
Once bitten, twice.
Do that bitten, bitten. I would say your placement for that N sound could go a little lower.
Once bitten, twice shy.
Once bitten, twice shy. Once bitten, twice shy. Once bitten, twice shy. I would also maybe consider about experimenting with stress. I know that it looks like you have a pattern here, right? So you're bitten and shy. So adjective, keeping the stresses really regular. One thing that I found when working with students, there's one thing. So every Saturday, I have a class. It's a group class. So it's something you can join as well, where we basically look at native speaker conversations and we just kind of see what native speakers are doing in their speech. What words are they stressing? What link are they using? And one thing that we've commonly found is that when you think you have these sorts of patterns where it's like, okay, adjective, so I'll stress both adjectives, or like noun, and I'll stress both nouns, just stuff like that. But what we actually find that native speakers do a lot is they don't fall into those patterns. For the first part, we may stress one thing, and then for the second part, we actually stress the other part. So for like once bitten, twice shy, I would consider instead putting a stress on once and then putting your other stress on shy. Once bitten, twice shy. Once bitten, twice shy. Instead of once bitten, twice shy. Once bitten, twice shy. And I think part of the reason why native speakers like this is because native speakers do not like it when things become super, super predictable in terms of rhythm, in terms of your sentence structure and things like that. Native speakers hate it. Native speakers like contrast. Native speakers like it when things stand out, when something's lower or something's higher. These are the things that native speakers are listening for and they find really helpful. So I think that by breaking up your expectation in the pattern, I think this is a way to help you achieve a more natural sound. That's not to say that what you're doing is wrong. It certainly can work. I would encourage you to put this phrase, relatively common phrase. I would encourage you to put it into English and kind of see how other people are doing it. But I would experiment with some of those stresses.
Once bitten, twice shy.
Once bitten, twice shy. I would also maybe, a very minor note, I would maybe reduce bitten a little bit because right now bitten's really strong.
Once bitten,
Once bit versus once bitten. You know, you hear that shift between once and bitten?
once bitten,
Like it feels like you're like once and then bit in versus once bitten, once bitten. So if you're going to stress bitten, I don't think you have to go quite as high. Okay. I think that would be key.
twice shy.
In general, I like your vowel sounds. I like your twice shy. I think it sounds pretty good. Just kind of pay attention to some of those things there. Manuel, I hope that is helpful. Thanks for sending the file. I do appreciate it. Oh, my throat is getting extremely dry. Excuse me, guys, one sec.
Like what you're hearing? Let us know by liking and subscribing.
Okay. Let's catch up on the chat really quick. These questions I asked are written in a book, and a full page sounds weird. You know, Zabeda, if you take a screenshot of that and if you message it to me on Facebook or Instagram, I'll be happy to take a quick look at it. Like Moose says, they're talking to Americans right now. Like right this minute, this moment, they're talking to you? You're at work? Oh, yes, I was going to pronounce it. Is she? Is she? Is she? This is such a great question. It's the joys of American English pronunciation. The real answer is yes. There are always many different ways to pronounce certain things, especially when it comes to linking and reductions. There's not usually just one way to do it. So you could say is she with a slight z sound. Is she? You could make it voiceless like is she? Okay. You may also get that je sound. Is she? Is she? Okay. So yes, I think you can make arguments for any of those. I think they all certainly could work. If I were saying it right now, like, is she coming? Is she coming? That's kind of how I would do it. Is she? It's like just like a sh sound. Is she? But I think all of those can work. Sometimes when I'm pronouncing it for me, it's not is she. That will not quite be right. Okay. You need the sh sound somewhere or a j sound. Okay. Just a note. Okay, Avi, thank you for the question. Let's go back, see what you guys got.
Long enough break.
Manuel, I'm going to take a look at some other people, just to keep the variety going.
Otto the Fry.
Marco, same thing.
I personally think it's like 7 out of 10.
Why the uncertainty? Why the rising intonations? This is our one right here. 7 out of 10. Where was I? Oh no, I always do that and I forget.
Frying pan into the fire.
No, not that one. It's this one, okay. So Beta, if you can go to my website, there's a contact form. The email should be, or if you go to the about page on the YouTube channel, it's like speakfluentamerican@gmail.com.
I personally think it's like 7 out of 10.
Okay, the biggest thing I'm noticing is the like.
Personally think it's like.
You know, like. See if you can hear that.
I think it's
like versus like, I lie, like. Can you do that progression like 3 times? Like, I lie, like, I lie, like, I lie, like. Okay. Because I would like that I sound to have more air and also be lower, a lower placement. So it's not lie, it's more lie, I. Okay. What you may find is that when you say I by itself, it's relatively easy to say. I. So the sound that a lot of languages do have. I. But what you may find is that when you add these other consonants to that sound, your vowel shifts. So maybe I is easy to make, but maybe you say like I lie, versus I lie. So again, I would do that progression just to try to identify what is causing the issue. Is it the I sound by itself? Is it the L when it links with the I? It could be the opposite too, right? It could be the K sound linking with the I. So it's like maybe you say I okay, but maybe you do Ike, 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 versus Ike. Okay, so we're trying to identify what is causing the issue. A lot of times it's not actually the vowel, it's the consonants around it causing it. So that progression, I lie like, that will help you identify where the issue is. Going back to the file.
I personally think it's.
You know, it might be the I sound. Listen to how you're saying I. What's happening is I think you're starting very open. It's like I, but then as you get to the end of your vowel sound, it closes. Your placement jumps up. Try to keep your placement in the same spot throughout. So again, I, with lots of air and breath coming through. I
personally think it's like.
Yeah, so the I sound. And I'm not hearing as much on the other words. The other words, I think the placement tends to be lower.
I personally think.
Like for that sounds lower to me and more open.
It's like.
It's like versus like.
7 out of 10.
Let's hear your numbers.
I think it's like 7 out of
7. You could maybe go a little bit lower and more open on 7. Could do like n 7 and 7 same kind of idea there.
7 out of 10.
I wonder if it's the N.
Like 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. Can you say 7 out of 7 out 7 out 7 out? Can you say 7 out with the tip of your tongue down against the bottom of your mouth? 7 out 7 out. Just trying to get those vowel sounds to be a little bit more dominant and your consonant sounds a little bit weaker. Okay. So I'd experiment with that as well. All right. Other things here.
I personally think it's like 7 out of 10.
I personally think it's like a 7 out of 10. Okay. Those would be my major suggestions there. Thanks for sending out audio. If anything there is not clear, be sure to let me know. But again, I cannot do this without you guys. It doesn't happen. We have some other questions here, which are important. How can I message you, teacher, on Facebook? Well, I think if you go to my channel page, I think I have links to my socials. No. Putting in some work today. We earn everything. I'm just kidding. Now, give me one moment just to check to make sure everything is valid. By the way, if you're getting something useful out of the stream, can you say yes in the chat box if you're learning things? Like, yes, I'm learning so much. Or write down one thing you've learned so far today. Have I taken out my socials? Maybe I did take them out. What I would say is if you go to fluentamerican.com, at the top of the channel, you will see links to all the different social media pages, honestly. I did take off all the links. I thought they're still there. Also, if you go to if you go to the About page on the channel, everything's being slow. No, I don't have it there either. You guys are right. I messed up. I used to have them there, but I took them off. But for most of them, yeah. I mean, if you go to the website, all the social media links will be there right at the top. You can see the little icons. Okay. I'm worried about my questions. Why are you worried about your questions today? If you have other ones, be sure to let me know. Great to answer. Okay. Other things. What else is happening? That's crazy. I'm not there. All right, let me share once more. Before we do so, questions about hot and dog. Okay, so personally, I would say hot with an ah sound, very open ah, Ah. It's like ha, hot. Hot. Notice too that T is usually held. So you're not going to hear that t. Usually it's not hot. Usually it's just hot, hot. And then the second word I personally would pronounce as dog with a slight aw sound. Dog. Dog. It's like hot dog. Hot dog. Or if you're talking about the food, then you would stress hot. A hot dog. Hot dog. Okay, it's just a note about that. So again, ah sound and aw sound. Them and other. How'd you pronounce them in other states? Like, how'd you pronounce them in other states? Some people would say dog instead of dog, like hot dog versus hot dog. So just a note about that. Those are the main ways I could think of. You have other questions related to that, let me know. Not sure if you're answering that. Roommates that drop in the sage words. Questions are indicative of a great mind. Yeah, I always enjoy it. Teachers always love questions, I think. Yeah. I sent off your Gmail, but you didn't pick it up. Interesting. I don't have it. I'm not checking my email right now. When did you send it to me, Mike? Because I'm a bit busy at the moment. But oh, you know what? Did you send me? You sent me some audio files. Let me. I think I do remember this. Send me a reminder email again one more time, just to kind of bring it up again. I think I do remember this. I think you sent it to me at a very chaotic time, so it may have gotten dropped, and I apologize for that. Send me a reply, just a reminder email. Okay, and that goes for anything. You know, if you send me messages and things, and I, for whatever reason, am slow, like I'm sorry, guys, I can't take care of my son a lot and stuff like that. So I don't. Sometimes things do get dropped, or I miss things, or I intend to respond and I get slow. That does happen. So if I don't respond in like 2 or 3 days, you know, shoot me a reminder. Yeah. They think you're testing up. Yeah, I think that I don't know. I think confident teachers don't get as worried about that sort of stuff. That's frustrating if your teachers are responding that way. Anyways, how about our next one here?
Here's something straight from the horse's mouth.
Yeah. Again, just another idiom for you. Straight from the horse's mouth. That means like get something from the source. I know Zabeda asked earlier about what does idioms mean. That's what this one means.
Here's something straight from the horse's mouth.
Yes, so again. Here's something straight from the horse's mouth.
Here's something.
Here's something. I do think you could get a little bit more air through your throat. It's not bad, but I do think you're able to get more air through.
Here's something straight.
Here's something. I also think something. Notice that something. You're kind of giving me the same pitch over and over again. Dun, dun, something. But in general, even in multi-syllabic words, you don't want all the syllables at the same pitch. I would go lower on the second syllable.
Here's something.
Something. I would go even lower. Something. Here's something. So like something. Just going like a step lower on the thing.
Straight from the horse's mouth.
Here's something straight from the horse's mouth. Here's something straight.
Here's something straight from the horse's mouth.
You're giving me a lot of stresses. You're giving me a stress on like, hear something straight from the horse's mouth. So, you know, we don't have that many words here, but I would say over half your words are getting stressed. And that's a problem, you know. That's one of the biggest differences between people learning English and native speakers is a lot of times language learners tend to have a lot more stresses. Cut down some of our stresses. Straight. Here's something straight. Let's maybe just stress straight. Here's something straight. Here's something straight. And mouth, from the horse's mouth. Here's something straight from the horse's mouth. Here's something straight from the horse's mouth. Here's something straight from the horse's mouth. Something like that. I think that will give you a more natural pattern. Again, this is an expression, so you can go to Youglish. Here's some other native speakers saying it, just to get some more examples. Okay, but those would be my big pieces of advice there. Here's something straight from the horse's mouth.
Here's something straight from the horse's mouth.
Yeah, I would also say if you're looking like just to like link things together a little bit more, like here's something straight. You can link from something to straight more. Something straight. Something straight. It says something straight, more something straight. And then from the notice how that's joined together. From the horse's mouth. You don't need super heavy contact on that M, right? My lips are barely touching. From the horse's mouth. And you can say it fast too. It doesn't have to be perfect. From the horses. I would say that like 3 times as fast as you can. From the horses. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, thing used to be a little bit mushier. Oh, with your English. Yeah, those would be my biggest suggestions there. Thank you as always for sending your audio. It's great to hear from you. Okay, I know some other questions came in, so we'll take a look at those really quick. Yes, 3 business week period. Yes, 3 business days. I think that's a fair amount of time. You can say hot and dog the same way if you wanted. I don't think you run into issues with that. Okay.
Question.
Ilya asks how to properly wrap up a conversation and say goodbye in American English. There are many ways to say, like to finish conversation. You can say things like, gotta go. Hey, I gotta go. Or you can say, all right, I have to head out. Or like if you have a specific thing, like, oh, I have to go to a meeting. Or like, oh, I have to get home. Or like, oh, I have to get back. You know, you can just say that. I have to get back. Other things you can say, well, you could be, well, it's been good talking to you. It's been good talking to you. That's an indicator that you're done. Okay. Other things too. Been good talking to you. Hope to see you soon. It's like that. Catch you later. See you later. Yeah, I think those are probably some of the more common ones that I would use if I'm ending a conversation. Okay. Or you could say, like, hey, let me talk to you later. Or I have to run. That's another one. Like, I have to run. I have to go. Yes, those would be my big suggestions too. Couldn't find it. That's so. You don't have to call me dear teacher. You just call me Jeff. I remember if you say really quickly, like, let's call it, that's not usually a way that you would end a conversation though. That's usually a way of like when you're like, let's say you're at work and your work is done. You'd be like, hey, let's call it a day. Like your boss could say that to you if they want to send you home. Things like that, just a note. In terms of socials and things like that, if people are having a hard time finding it, again, if you go to the website, like all these icons up here, so just take you to Instagram, I hope, as long as my links aren't broken. Facebook. Looks like everything's working. Yeah. Guess I would definitely use those links up top. Okay. Oh, just a note, guys. My son is out about wandering around. So you might hear him in the background, just a note. Okay. Other things here was pronunciation in particular, and probably. These are great words, especially probably. Let's do particular first, though. Particular. You want to make sure you keep the T sounds in particular. That first T, particular. Watch out for the that short I sound. So it's not teak, it's not partique. It's particular. Okay. Particular. Okay. Particular, and make sure you also pronounce that final R sound. Okay. Just note, Rameza, the links aren't working. Kibi, tell me more, because if I need to fix things, I can fix things. Other things there, particular. So make sure the R sounds are strong, particular. Also, when you say that, yular, can you say yular, but stick your tongue down against the bottom of your mouth? Use a dark L. It's not particular, it's particular. Keep that tongue down. Okay, don't let it stay up. Okay, there's nothing wrong if you say particular, but it just kind of makes it a little choppier. Whereas if you keep the tongue down, it just becomes a lot smoother. Particular. Probably. There's so many ways to pronounce this. You could do probably with very clear syllables. Probably. Okay. But a lot of times it gets shortened like probably, where you're just chopping off syllables. I know how it's spelled, but it's usually just pronounced probably. It's like probably. Heavy stress first syllable, second syllable gets way reduced. Probably. Or you say probably. Yes, those are your notes. Particular, keep those R sounds. Dark L on the L. Probably. You can say probably or probably. And again, dark L as well. Keep the tip of your tongue down for that as well, for those L's. Okay. Hopefully that helps.
Question.
Caught. Hot dog. I don't have a great answer for you. I wish I did. I have not been to most states, guys. There's 50 states. There's a lot of states. It's a big country. It's like if I wanted to drive from New York or Philadelphia to California, it would take me 3 days, I think. Like it's just really big. That's a great question. I don't have a great answer. But what I will say is that there's so much movement around the country too. I mean, everyone's from everywhere. So you're seeing a lot of changes in terms of the old regional accents are shifting. So if you use the ah sound instead of the ah sound, is fine. There's no place where that would be confusing if you don't use it. Okay, just a note. Okay. Other things. Okay. So yes, glad that was helpful. Cool. Live streams are invaluable. Thank you. I appreciate that. We're trying, man. We're trying. Okay. And again, if you go to the website, hopefully those links work. I'll try to put them again on the About page as well on the channel afterwards. Aw, shucks. Appreciate that. Although it could just be because it's mad dark and this beard is getting mad scraggly as well. Okay. This one here, it doesn't sound so bad, but I think in terms of what sounds natural, like for instance, if you go to North America and you go to a classroom with a teacher, no one calls their teacher. No one does that. I know that's like how some languages work and things like that, but no. If you're talking to a teacher, usually would use like Mr. If it's formal, then keeping formal like Mr. in the last name, or if it's more informal, you can say Mr. in the first name. But no one's calling their teacher's teacher. That's just not a. I'm trying to give examples of how to make sure that you sound the most natural in North America. So just kind of like something to keep in mind. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not offensive or anything. Okay. Okay, the links work fine. Cool. Thank you, Rumeza. Thank you. I appreciate that. Doing the work. Thank you. Helping me out so much. Dustin's checking in. What's up, Dustin? We missed you so far. Okay. You can call me G. There's some people that do that. There's nothing wrong with calling me G. I see. So yeah, unfortunately in the chat is not going to allow links just because in the past there have been some issues and things like that. Just a note. Okay, can wow sound like wall? I did it while you're working. Well, I would need to listen to lots of examples. I would go to Youglish and I would listen to lots of sentences of while, and kind of just see what people are doing. I would take some time to see. I would just type in the phrase like type in a sentence with while and wall. I would type in the wall while, You know, like I would type that into English, that phrase, see if anything comes up. I don't know. It's kind of an unusual phrase, but maybe something will. And kind of just listen to pronunciation. I imagine there's situations where you could reduce that. Okay. I imagine there are situations, especially in rapid speech, where that could work. But in general, they do have distinct vowel sounds. You know, it's not the I sound isn't quite the aw sound, but it could get reduced. Hawaii sounds like a good destination. Why you could have just put a period after destination. I don't even need the rest. Hawaii sounds like a good destination. I definitely would agree. I've never been. Funny story. My parents actually went. That's where they did their honeymoon, and my dad lost his wedding ring in the ocean. That's our fun. That's your fun fact about Jeff, or not even about me, but about my family. It's offensive. One time I was in English class, someone called teacher. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's certainly not an appropriate response. That an overreaction is an understatement. Yeah. But I would say, hey, that again in North America, especially if you have a teacher that is not used to dealing with people from other countries, like I'm used to it. You know, when I was teaching at a language center, we had Saudis, you know, Russians, Jordanians, Japanese people, Chinese. Like we had everybody. Everybody was there, and it's a super common thing for international students to call their teacher teacher. In fact, that's all they say, teacher. But like if you go to like a public school or like you go to college and things like that, that's not. It's just not how people refer to them. I would be curious to know English. Like, what level is this? Was this high school? Was this college? And yes, we are. I know we've been distracted. We will get back to the recordings. I promise. I know. I know why you guys are here. We have a couple more from the original group. Go big. You're a teacher. I mean, I teach online right now. I've been teaching online since 2017. But before that, I was at different language centers since 2010. I was the academic director at a language center for about 3 years, and then I was doing IELTS, like speaking and writing, for a little bit. It was high school. Yeah, that's interesting. That's an overreaction again, as stated, for a high school teacher to be responding that way. That's really not appropriate. Okay, I appreciate Mahmoud trying to get us back on track. So let's did we listen to this file already?
Long enough breaks are the keys to great successes.
Do this one really quick. Long enough. This goes back to what you were telling me about. Long enough and breaks. Interesting. So a Romanian expression. Cool. I'm trying to think of what the
Long enough.
I'm trying to think of the long enough and breaks are key. I'm trying to think of like an American equivalent to that. I can't think of one. I appreciate that. But regardless, a lot. I don't know if I'll be able to do it right now, but in the meantime,
long enough breaks are the keys to great successes.
You know, your stressed words are so dragged out. So they sound very stressed, which I will give you. But I wonder if we could maybe shorten them slightly.
Long enough break.
Long enough and breaks, like long enough and breaks, long enough and breaks. You know, breaks should, I imagine breaks would have a stronger stress than long, but the fact you're dragging out long so long, no pun intended, is a bit distracting.
Long enough break.
Long enough and breaks. You know, so in terms of the pitch, long enough and breaks. So I like that, and often breaks. I don't even think that you have to go as high in pitch on breaks. You know, it doesn't have to be and often breaks. You know, it could be and often breaks, and often breaks. You know, so just watch out for that pitch progression. I like the movement, but maybe just a little bit too high. So I would shorten long. Okay. I would lower the pitch slightly on breaks.
Long enough breaks.
Long enough and breaks. I would also watch out for that A sound on breaks.
Breaks.
Breaks. You hear that movement? Break. A. Try to keep it, just try not to have that shift. So A, you can just do A. A. Okay, so difference again between A and A.
breaks,
Aches. My guess is it's the K sound that may be interfering. Can you do like bray, breaks, bray, breaks, and see if your vowel is shifting? I'm wondering if the K is having an impact on your vowel.
long enough breaks are the keys to great successes.
Are the keys to great, are the keys to great success? Lower your pitch on great.
Keys to great success
Keys to great.
are the keys to great success.
The keys to great. You're doing this keys to great, keys to great. I would have liked down. Keys to great, keys to great. So I would lower that pitch actually because great's not your stress.
Great successes.
Great successes. Great successes.
Great successes.
Success. Do you hear that? Success.
Great successes.
Successes versus successes. Try to get more air through on that S sound. S's. Can you say S's? S's. Successes. S's. Successes. Try and get those to sound the same. I need wire breaks. See you guys.
Like what you're hearing? Let us know by liking and subscribing.
A lot of talking today. Stay hydrated, folks. What are you drinking? Who's drinking water? Who's drinking tea? Who's drinking coffee? Who's getting some party things in their
Great
system?
successes.
Let me know what you're drinking right now.
Long enough breaks are the keys to great successes.
Long and often breaks are the keys to great successes. You kind of got this pattern going on. I don't think English you hear that sort of pattern as often. Long and often breaks are keys to great successes. Long and often breaks. Long and often breaks are the keys to great successes. Okay, so I wouldn't have that pattern from that first half be repeated in the second half exactly. Okay. Emmanuel, those would be my keynotes there. If you have any questions about anything I've said, be sure to let me know. But thank you for sending the audio. I, as always, appreciate it. Okay. Ooh, 12 seconds. Who is this? Who sent me a 12-second file? My God.
Well, I don't trust that candidate. He's trying to be all things to all men and still hasn't committed to a clear course of action.
All right. A lot there. Sending me the book. Before we do that, quick question here. We pronounce these for us. Let's see. Oh, okay. This is for Ilya. Let me see. I don't think it's from him, Emmanuel, but maybe. So, seat, sit, set, sat. Again, seat, sit, set, sat. If you find that tricky, do the vowels first, like E, I, then do the words. It's like E, I, see, sit, set, sat. I sat on a seat to sit on the set. I sat on a seat to sit in the set. I sat on a seat to sit in the set. Hopefully that makes sense for you. Okay. Going back. Let's see.
Well, I don't trust that candidate.
I don't trust that can. This isn't necessarily wrong. You will hear people doing this, but I do think can is a little bit tense. Like can versus can. I wouldn't be opposed to more air coming through on can.
I don't trust that candidate.
Candidate versus candidate. A lot of times too, that last syllable on candidate gets reduced. So more candidate. Instead candidate or candidate. Just to note, you will often hear that reduced. That last syllable.
Trust that candidate. He's trying to be all things to all.
He's trying to be. I like your pitch change there. Very natural. He's trying to be like just more exaggerate. I really like that.
Candidate. He's trying to be all things to all men and still hasn't committed to a clear course of action.
The big part we're going to focus on is this last part.
He's trying to be all things to all men.
In general, I'm okay with that. The major things are going to come next.
And still hasn't committed.
Committed. Do you hear that? Committed versus committed. Short I sound. Committed. Okay, so watch out for that. So hasn't committed.
Hasn't committed to a clear course.
Cleared clear, very tense again. I'm wondering if it's the L sound impacting your vowel. So again, you could do the vowel by itself, do your E sound, E, then add an L sound, li. Can you do like E, li, and make sure you're not doing like E, li, because that's a sign that your L is impacting your vowel. Okay, so try to keep everything in the same spot. E, li, clear, E, li, clear. Okay.
Who hasn't committed to a clear course of action? To a clear course of action.
Course versus course. Can you say or, core, course? So to do that progression, or core, course. Again, trying to open up the throat more air in the throat. So instead, or, more, or, core, clear,
To a
course.
clear course of action.
Clear course versus clear course. And want to hear action?
To a clear course of action.
Action. Your N is a little bit strong. You can weaken your N sound. It's an action, more action. Okay, the key part for action is the short I. Shin, not shin, more shin. Action. Clear course of action.
Thanks to all men and still hasn't committed to a clear course of action.
Okay, those are definitely going to be my major things that I would suggest for that, trying to get a more natural sound. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, be sure to let me know. But thank you, I appreciate it. Okay, I'm just gonna stop sharing just for a moment. So, guys, really quick, if you're finding everything we're doing so far, and we still have some more audio files to take a look at, of course, including maybe yours, which you can do. You can send in your pronunciation file by going to the top of the chat box, or also looking at the video description, where you will see this document where you can send in your own pronunciation files for us to listen to. And we use this link, by the way, every single live stream. So this is your first time here. Save this link. Check on it next Thursday or Friday where we blank it out. So that way you can send in your own files and things like that. Because this is part of the Schwab Mill, our weekly show. Okay? And things like that. But if you are finding everything we're doing today very, very helpful, just a quick reminder that we have a group on Telegram where we do this sort of feedback every single day of the week.
Eel, please. I think your O sounds are a little bit tense. I'm getting a lot of O. Take off the T on center.
So again, if you're finding this sort of feedback and help really beneficial for you, why not get it every single day of the week with coaching with me and another teacher, Lenore, who is great. We can go to patreon.com/fluentamerican, sign up for that $5 membership, $5 for the whole month. Get you a month's worth of access to daily feedback and pronunciation help. Okay. You can also become a channel member right below this live stream, right below, like right down here. There's that join option. If you select I think it's the middle tier, you'll get access to the group as well. So that sounds like something you would enjoy. Be sure to check it out. Okay, a couple other files to see. I want to look at the rest of our original group. I know we're getting late, so we're going to try to do some blitz mode, just kind of giving you some real quick, biggest pronunciation things that stand out to me, so we can try to cover as much as we can. First one here. Where's my mouse? Mouse going crazy. You guys know I always lose my mouse. Ilya asks so we can see their file. We're trying to.
To be honest with you, your guess is as good as mine.
Sounds like Rameza.
To be honest with you,
Rameza, can you get a little bit more air through on your oo sound?
To be honest with you,
yo. Just like a touch. I don't think you need a lot, just a little bit more.
Guess is as good as mine. With you, your guess is as good as mine. With you, your guess is as good as mine.
Your guess is as good. Your guess is as good. You're very clear, which is great. You know, it's super clear, the clarity, your vowel sounds, everything's standing out.
With you, your guess is as good as mine.
Your guess is as good as mine. What's happening? You're pronouncing everything like perfectly, and because of that, it's actually making it sound a little bit less natural, ironically.
Guess is as good as mine.
Is as good as mine. You hear that? I hear every single word. Guess is as good as mine. Your guess is as good as mine. Like it's all there.
To be honest with you, your guess is as good as mine.
Your guess is as good as mine. Your guess is as good as mine. I would like you to get messier. Especially on that is as good as your reductions. Your reductions right now are super, super clear. And what that's doing is, one, it's slowing you down because you're trying to pronounce every single word. And you're trying to cram it in there. and it's not allowing us to kind of do all the things that English will let us do.
Your guess is as good as mine.
Is as good as mine versus is as good. Can you say is as good? Is as good? Like is as good? Is as good? Okay, because people usually say as is as good. People don't usually say it. People usually reduce it. Is as good? Is as good? It's almost like saying two Z sounds. Is as good? Is as good? Your guess is as good. Your guess is as good. Okay. Hear the difference. Your guess. Pay attention to yours, and then I'll do my comparison.
Your guess is as good as.
Your guess is as good. Your guess is as good. Your guess is as
good as mine.
Your guess is as good as mine. Can you say then the second half? Good as mine. Good as mine. So it's like good as mine. More good as mine. Your guess is as good as mine. Good as mine. Your guess is as good as mine. Good as mine. Your guess is as good as mine. I really want you to practice that progression. Okay. Your English is great. It's super clear. It's too perfect. It's too good. I want to sound more natural. We have to embrace reductions more. We have to get a little messier. And I know that can sound very contradictory. But if your goal, like most people here, if your goal isn't just to have clear, understandable English, if you're here for clear, understandable English, you might be on the wrong channel because I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in natural sounding English. Okay. If your goal is just to sound clear, Rumeza, you don't need to come back. You already sound clear. You're doing great. Yeah.
To be honest with you, your guess is as good as mine.
You could also link the with you a little bit more. With you. To be honest with you. To be honest. The reason you can do that more is because you isn't stressed. Honest is stressed.
To be honest with you.
Reduce you. To be honest with you. To be honest with you. Okay. To be honest with you. You know, it's a with you because now you're kind of stressing you. Okay, so those would be my big things there.
To be honest with you, your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah. So those would be my big suggestions. Hopefully that makes sense. Great job. You know, you're doing all the things. Let's get messier a little bit. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, and that certainly is yeah, it sounds like you're reading. Yeah. You're good. I got you. You're good. Always a pleasure. Mimo writes, what is the best platform to find a difference in pronunciation of states? Oh, there was a... Oh, everyone's asking the great questions today. There is a website that is so... What is it, like World Heritage? There's a cool website where it has like this paragraph where they... World Heritage Dictionary. Is it this? No, I have to find it. There's this really cool website. If you're like a pronunciation nerd, there's this website where basically they have this paragraph and they just recorded people from all around the world, you know, in tiny towns, big cities, like all around the world. And they just recorded everybody saying the same paragraph so you could hear the pronunciation differences across the whole world. But what was it called? I'm just going to try one other thing, then I'll get back to the files, I promise. Read one paragraph. Like the worst Google search ever. I can't find it, man. This is not. Sorry, guys. If I ever find it, I would definitely do a video on it, just like a short or something like that, because it's a really cool website. Beyond that, I don't have a great answer for this, honestly. I'm sorry. I will need to do research. It's a great question. Last two here.
Auto
Pronunciation archive. You already know what I'm talking about? That actually sounds like it could be it. Wait, let me take another more time. Pronunciation archive. Let's take a look. Global spelling code. Not. Look at this rabbit hole I've gone down now. Oh, God. Cambridge and pronunciation factors. Okay, Lord, no. I can't find it. I've done it enough time. I'm sorry. It's out there. Try random searches and you can find it. But it had exactly what you're looking for. It would have been really cool. I'm sorry, Mimo.
Out of the frying pan into the fire.
Okay, Marcos, for the sake of time, I'm sorry. We're going to have to move on to our next file because I want to make sure we get people who we haven't covered yet. I hope you understand.
How can I create the best of both worlds?
Beta, create the best of both worlds. Create the best of both worlds.
How can I create the best of both worlds?
How can I create? How can I create?
How can I create the
How can I create? How can I create? How can I create? I would I don't think it's wrong to put stress on how, but I would just experiment and just put the heavier stress on create instead of how.
How can I create?
How can I create more? How can I create? How can I create? How can I create? Or could the issue be intonation?
How can I create?
Create. How can I create? How can I create? Create. You know, I think having a pattern like that would be a little bit more common. How, if you put, especially if you're doing how the way you're doing it, like how can I create? How can I create? Like a little bit higher in the pitch there on that second syllable instead of create. So I think you're going down.
Create the best.
Create.
Create the best.
I'll go higher. Create. How can I create?
Create the best of both worlds.
The best of both worlds. How can I create the best of both worlds? I would just stress best.
The best of both worlds.
I wouldn't stress both. It's not the best of both worlds. It's the best of both worlds. How can I create the best of both worlds? How can I create the best of both worlds? So you stress on how, stress on create. I think that will give you a natural sound. How can I create the best of both worlds? I think this is something like that. Pay attention to my pitches there, compare them to your pitches a little bit more, and I think that'll give you a slight more natural progression. Because I think right now you have a few too many stresses.
How can I create the best of both worlds?
I would also say watch out for your O sound on both. I wonder if it's the B. Can you say like oath, both, oath, both? I want to see if it's the B or is it the O, because right now your O sounds a little tense. Do that both versus both. Can you also say both with straighter lips and say bo or bo, both? Okay, this is just a note there. For the sake of time, we're gonna have to move on. But Zobeda, thank you for sending that. All right, really quick, guys. We have a lot of files. I want to get through everybody, at least one file from everybody, very, very quickly. Best of both worlds. You could stress worlds, but I personally would probably stress more best. But you could stress worlds. Give me a moment, guys. Avi, you sent me 2 files. I'm just going to have time to do one. And Matthew. Okay, like I said, guys, this is going to have to be a list version. I am closing our documents. No more submissions, please. You'll have to wait for next time. Okay. But thank you to everyone who did submit files. Okay. So like an advertisement there. Cool. Here's some new voices, which is cool. I did that one already. Okay, I think we have some great pronunciation things you guys are going to enjoy. No singer that I am noticing today. He left us high and dry. No singer that I'm noticing. All right, guys, this is going to be our final lap. Okay, if I don't have your file out of these 4, I apologize. We kind of ran into it with time today. I encourage you, again, check out Friday is usually when I clear out the document. So if you want to make sure that we have time for your file, get it there as soon as closer to the top. In general, I go in relative order. And people who make it before the stream, usually there's time for it at this point. So my apologies if we don't get to you. What else was I going to say? Again, we also have our Telegram group too. So we're trying to get some feedback. We do this every single day on our Telegram group. Go to patreon.com/FluentAmerican, where you join below. You can get access to that. But let's wrap up today. First one here, just some quick reactions.
It is a poor workman who blames his tools.
It is a poor workman who blames his tools. Too many stresses. So you have a lot of stresses.
It is a poor workman.
Poor workman. So you're stressing poor and then workman. Stress work, not man. And don't stress poor. It's a poor workman. It's a poor workman. Okay, so notice how that changes the whole sentence. It's a poor workman.
It is a poor workman.
I would also encourage you to try to use the contraction like I mentioned earlier. So instead of it is, more it is, it's, short I sound, then joining it's with the contraction. It's a poor workman. It's a poor workman.
It is a poor workman.
Yes, it is a poor workman. It's more. It's a poor workman. It's a poor workman
who blames his tools.
Watch out for blames as well for the A sound. Blames, so it's not blames, more blames.
Man who blames he
blames his, blames his versus blames his. So if you're looking for one vowel sound to study, let it be the short I sound because you're tending to make it E. You like it is. I'm here e's, but it's more it is or it's. His. I'm here he's versus his. So study those the short I's.
It is a poor workman who blames his tools.
Blames his tools versus tools. And then tools, again, dark L at the end. So instead of oohs, more alls. Tools.
Tools.
Okay, so just a note on that. Okay. So those are my main thoughts there. Let me know if you have any questions about that. But thanks for that file. Great to hear from you. Hope to hear from you in future streams too.
Because you positively bring out all the best in me.
Okay.
Because you positively bring out all the best in me.
Okay. McMurray, I don't have the file up. Is this one yours?
Because you positively bring out all the best in me.
Okay. Some things here.
Because
versus because. Schwa sound. Cuz. Cuz. It's not cause. It's more cuz.
Because you.
Okay. I have a schwa challenge. If you go to the channel, it says like 7-day schwa challenge. I'll take a look at that playlist. So it'll help you review the schwa sounds. Okay.
Because you positively bring.
Positively. Can you say positively? It's like e. Positively. So do the vowels again. E. Positively. Okay. Because you
positively bring out all the best in me.
Because you positively bring out all the best in me. You have a lot of stresses.
Because you positively bring out all the best in me.
All the best in me. Because you positively bring out all the best in, or like all the best. Because you positively, what are your stresses?
Because you positively.
Because you positively, two stresses.
Bring out all the best in.
All the best. All.
Me.
In me. And then another stress there. So the last stress is there. Cut off some of them because you positively bring out all the best in me. Because you positively bring out all the best in me. If you're looking for like two stresses, I would stress because you positively, I'll do positively, and all the best in me. Because you positively bring out all the best in me. Because you positively bring out all the best in me. Notice what I'm doing with pitches as well there.
Because you positively bring out all the best in me.
Because right now it's just really choppy. Because you positively bring out all the best in me. Just a little choppy. This helps smooth it out. Because you positively bring out all the best in me. Also, placement a little bit high. We talked about because all the Boston. So it could be that S sound. Let's hear that.
Because you positively bring out all the best in me.
All the boss. All the boss. So I think what's happening is our placement tends to be a little high. It sounds to me kind of like back of the mouth, top of throat. Boston, me. All the boss. All the boss.
Out all the best in.
All the Boston versus all the best in. All the Boston, all the best in. Okay, so it sounds to me like your placement's a little bit high. So I'll try to shift things down a little bit lower, a little bit more open in the throat. Try to get more air. Okay, so those are going to be the really big keys. Okay.
Than me. Because you positively bring out all the best in me.
Okay. So yeah, so study schwa sounds, study reducing some of those stresses. Okay. And study also a little bit of placement, trying to get things a little bit lower. Those would be my big piece of advice here. Okay. Next.
I don't trust stairs. They always lead up to something.
Oh, this one's so low. I'll do my best. I can hear it, but it's going to be hard for other people, so I have to be a little fast on this one.
I don't trust stairs. I don't trust stairs.
Do that. I don't trust stairs. It's like low, high, low, high. I don't trust stairs. Versus I don't trust stairs. I don't trust stairs. I don't trust stairs. Down, 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 up. I don't trust stairs. I don't trust stairs. Don't stress, don't.
I don't trust stairs.
Okay. Back mood, I still have another file. Hang on, man.
I don't trust stairs.
I don't trust stairs versus I don't trust stairs. I don't trust stairs.
I don't trust stairs.
I do like your intonation on stairs. That's good. I don't trust stairs because there's more information coming. So I like that.
Trust stairs. They always lead up to something.
Always. Can you say always? Aw. Like law or saw. Always. Ah. Mouth relatively wide. Back of tongue high. Front of your tongue down. Always. Also, don't make contact for the L. Keep the tip of your tongue down the entire time. Always. Can you say always with the tip of your tongue against the bottom of your mouth the whole time? Always.
They always lead up to something.
Yeah, always versus always. Always. Keep your placement low and open. You're closing things off always versus always.
Lead up to something. They always lead up to something.
They always lead up to something. I don't trust stairs because they always lead up to something. I would again do two stresses. I don't trust stairs because they always lead up to something. Like I would stress always. If you don't want to stress always, you could say up. You could stress up. I don't trust stairs because they always lead up to something. You know, you could say that too.
I don't trust stairs. They always lead up to something.
Something like that. Okay. Those would be my big pieces of advice there. Hopefully that makes sense. If anything's not clear, let me know. But thank you for sending us audio file. Please send us more in future streams. Please, 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 please. Okay. Ilya, thank you. It's been great to work with you. It'd be great to see you in the group as well. Okay. Be sure to keep sending us files on Saturdays as well. It'd be great to have you around. Join the Schwa Mill family. Let's do it. After this, I'll check for Mahmoud if this isn't his.
Find the best deals on the new and used trucks for sale near you.
Okay. The patterns are a little bit difficult to follow.
Find the best deals on the.
Let's break it up. Find the best deals. No stress on deals. Put the stress on best.
Find the best deals on.
You know, best deals, best deals. Find the best deals. Lower the pitch on deals. Raise the pitch on best. Watch out for that be sound. It's not ba. It's more be, best. Don't let that B sound cause you to pop your mouth too open. It's not ba. It's more be, be. Notice how straight my lips are, how closed they are. Find the best deals.
Find the best deals on the.
Find the best versus find the best deals. Find the best deals.
Find the best deals on the new and used.
On the new. Can you say new? Make sure when you're doing that ooh sound, when it links with the letter N, watch out for that British training. The British training is going to make you do like new, whereas in American English, it's going to be more no. Okay. No. Okay. Mimo, did you put in a link? If you put in a link, it may not allow that to go through.
Best deals on the new and used.
Is it new and used? More new and used. On the new and used. On the new and used. Find the best deals on the new and used. On the new and used. I would practice that. New and used, new and used, new and used. Ooh and ooh, ooh and ooh, new and you, new and you. So I would bounce between ooh and ooh, new and you, just to practice, make sure your vowels are coming across clearly enough. Okay, Mimu, if you send in a link, that's going to be why, because links will not be allowed in the chat. Sorry.
And used trucks for sale near you.
For sale near you. Stress you, not for sale. Don't stress that. For sale near you. New and used trucks for sale near you. So I think the bigger thing, in addition to those vowels we mentioned, is just stress.
Find the best deals on.
Find the best deals.
On the new and used trucks.
On the new and used trucks.
For sale near you.
For sale near you. Find the best deal for the new and used trucks for sale near you. Those would be the stresses I would use. That would be the pattern I would use. Okay. So just a note on that. I want to make sure that we got Mahmoud's file really quick. Is it called Dialects and Archives? So you found the link. Cool. Guys, I'm sorry. I do have to close this off. Sorry, Singer. I have to run. We can try to do it for next time. This is Mahmoud's. If it loads.
I know it's horrible, but I gotta suck it up. I know it's horrible.
I know it's horrible. Horrible. I do think you can get more air through on the ball. I know it's horrible. Ball. A lot more air.
I know it's horrible.
I know it's horrible. I know it's horrible. I know it's horrible. I would just stress horrible. I wouldn't stress no.
But I gotta suck it up.
I gotta suck it up. And yeah, you could stress suck there as well. Thank you, Rameza, for checking in. Always great to see you. To see you next stream, okay? Have a good night.
Oh, but I gotta suck it up.
You don't have to overstress it. That's the only thing. You don't have to, That's a little bit too strong. You do da. I gotta suck it up. So you don't have to go quite so strongly on that. Just a note, okay?
I know it's horrible, but
again, that ball. Really try to get that dark out a little bit more air. It's a ball or ball.
Gotta suck it up.
Yeah, those are gonna be the main things there. Okay, guys. Woo, that's a lot of feedback. Okay, I'm sorry if we did not get to your files today, including Singer. If you're watching this, I'm sorry, but I just have to run. We already went a little bit over. But thank you guys for spending part of your Saturday with me. Well, thank you so much for being here as well, checking in, lurking in there in the background. Again, if you're watching this stream, but you did not say hi or things like that, fine. Okay, but hopefully we can see you in a future stream and you'll be willing to say hello and maybe even brave enough to send us an audio file. Again, for all levels, whether you've been studying pronunciation for years or whether you're new to studying pronunciation, whether you feel like you have a heavy accent or a light accent, it doesn't matter. Again, this is not a competition. We're here to help you. And by sending your files, you're helping other people too, because people can hear it. They get some ideas for suggestions for themselves too. So we're helping everybody. You'll just listen to even one person's file. Thank you guys so much for spending part of your Saturday with me. I know there are millions of options out there for American English resources. So the fact that you could spend a little bit, not just of your time, but of your weekend time, your Saturdays and things like that with me is certainly appreciated. Hope you guys have a good day, have a good night, have a good afternoon. I will see you in a future stream. Keep an eye out tomorrow for our next video. Hopefully I can get it out tomorrow. I have some things coming up. It's going to be especially focused on stress. Stress inside words, stress inside sentences, and things like that. And if you want to support the channel, one easy way to do that, if you see the video, click it when you see it, watch as much of it as you can. Those are all things that help promote it on the YouTube algorithm. So I do appreciate that. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you in a future stream. You guys take care. We will talk soon.